Hello and welcome back to Homeonexus. Today we are exploring a remedy often overlooked but clinically vital, Natrium Carbonicum, or the carbonate of soda. Think of this as the portrait of constitutional debility, the person who is deeply depleted and sensitive to the world around them. Meet our patient. The core of Natrium Carbonicum constitution is profound inertia. These individuals lack vital heat and have marked aversion to open air. They often avoid both mental and physical exercise. Notice the chair in the corner. It represents their need for withdrawal, and it also represents safety from harsh external environments. So if you want to remember one why for this remedy, it is the sun. Much of their pathology is rooted in the chronic effects of sunstroke. Even years later, just the return of the hot summer weather can reactivate their symptoms. Clinically, we compare this heat sensitivity to antimonium crudum. So now if you want to look at the mental generals of the patient. So the mental labor for Natrium carbonicum patient isn't just difficult, it is nearly impossible. Attempting to think actually triggers physical headache. They feel stupefied and experience a severe lag in processing power, a state of mental fog that borders on total exhaustion. So now keep an eye out for these unique red flags. First, a strange sensitivity, aggravation from music. While most find music soothing, like listening to music is relaxing, but for these patients, it can be intolerable. And secondly, they experience intense anxiety during thunderstorms, which is similar to phosphorus. So now looking the physical generals, physically these patients look washed out. They have an anemic constitution with pale, milky skin tone. They suffer from profound debility, literally feeling ready to drop just a short walk, especially in the summer heat. So now dietary triggers are huge here. For example, these patients are having sensitivity to various food items. Natrium carbonicum has a distinct aversion to milk. If they do drink it, it often leads to immediate diarrhea. Their system simply cannot process complex nourishment, which contributes to their emaciation and weakness. Basically, they have a complex requirement, nutrition, and food choices, which leads to weakness because of less nutrition. When it comes to the head, they describe a bursting pressure, as if the head is too large. This is often triggered. The headache is triggered by sun, mental effort, or even working under gaslight. In these cases, we compare them to glonoidum. Now, the face of this patient can be of very significant diagnostic importance. So, look at the face for diagnostic clues. You will see blue rings around the eyes, swollen eyelids, and dilated pupils. That pale, watery look is a classic sign of their deep-seated anemia. Now, these patients often suffer from a specific post-nasal catarrh. The discharge is thick, yellow-green, and often having very offensive smell. A key modality to remember is the discharge is profound during the day but stops completely at the night. This is very differential of this remedy. So in women, there is a prominent bearing down sensation. There is a feeling that the heaviness is present uh, and it's pulling down. A feeling as if everything would come out. This heaviness is actually better when moving and worse when sitting. So we often differentiate this from sepia or lilium tigrinum based on this modality. So the heaviness is better by moving and worse when sitting. So in the Natrium Carbonicum patient, you definitely have to look at the extremities and specifically the joints. So the Natrium Carbonicum body is physically fragile due to the weakness and the poor nutrition and oversensitivity, and particularly the ankles are more fragile and they are having a very weak joints. So you have to look for the joints and the weak are joint. They give away easily, leading to frequent dislocations and sprains. So if the foot bends under easily, think of Natrium Carbonicum. To summarize their world, they are worse from music, thunderstorms, summer heat, mental effort, and their uterine symptoms are better by movement. So to summarize, they are worse from music, from thunderstorms, from summer heat, the sunstroke we talk about, and from mental exertion, thinking, mental speculations, and they have the uterine symptoms getting better by movement and worse by sitting. So in the clinical practice, remember how Natrium Carbonicum connects to the other remedies. So it follows sepia well for bearing down pain. Compare it to calcarea carb, having constitutional similarity. We can compare it with glononum for sun-induced headaches, and we can also compare it with Natrum sulfuricum, where it's yeast-like vomiting. Let's wrap up with the golden threads. So remember the chronic effects of sunstroke, aggravation from music, severe milk intolerance, weak ankles that turn away easily, and the characteristic pale face with blue ring around the eyes. And that is the clinical portrait of Natrum carbonicum. From the chronic lingering effects of sunstroke to the very specific milk and music sensitivity, this remedy is a powerhouse for patients dealing with deep-seated depletion. If you find this clinical pulse helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel Homeonexus. It really helps us to keep creating these deep dives into our materia medica. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Have you ever prescribed or have been prescribed Natrium carbonicum for a case of weak ankles or chronic sun headaches? I would love to hear from your clinical experiences. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next lecture. This is Devotee Doc. You are watching Homeonexus, signing off.